Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with Iwo Jima, Jap outpost in the Pacific, talking about the island of Iwo Jima and the subsequent invasion by the United States Navy, Marines and I think infantry, army? Nope, just Marines, invading the island of Iwo Jima, which is a very big deal. We're now on to Rocket Soften Nip Fortress Isle. February 19th, 1945. D-Day Barrage. American Marines forged their beachheads on Iwo Jima under cover of combined Navy and air bombardments. A United States Navy LCS, landing craft support, is hurling rockets at the dug-in Japanese. Despite the strength of the Americans' covering forces, however, the initial assault was costly, and fighting became more bloody as the struggle for their volcanic isle continued. Yeah, Iwo Jima is going to be a very bloody battle. Most Americans know about it today, mostly from a famous picture, but it is a very important and very, very bloody battle. But this is a good military strategy, softening up the enemy with some rockets. It's going to work pretty well. Prelude to the invasion of Iwo Jima. February 1945. The USS New York pounds Island Bastion. For 2 days before the Marines slammed Iwo Jima, battleships of the Pacific Fleet plastered the island with shells. Here, 14-inch guns belch smoke and fire as they pour steel into the enemy positions. At the end of the 48-hour bombardment, the USS New York moved in close to the Japanese stronghold and blasted installations at point-blank range. Yeah, nowadays we use rockets a lot, but you can just imagine what this would be like sitting on one of these ships as they're just hammering the island. They've got these 14-inch guns, and these things are huge. We can't really imagine it nowadays. The biggest guns we really still use are artillery, and even that's kind of getting replaced by long-range missiles. But obviously, this is the twilight hours of the day of the battleship. So this is really the last time these things are going to hammer as much as we think about them. And they'll have a little bit of action in Korea, but this war is really their last hoorah. And it's interesting to see. I would not want to be one of the Japanese, that's for sure. On Japan's doorstep. February 19th, 1945. Stepping stones to Japan, or to Tokyo, my bad. General Douglas MacArthur's long campaign of island hopping finally culminated in the dramatic invasion of Iwo Jima, less than 800 miles from Tokyo. From the Palau Group in September, the Americans moved inexorably on the Leyte, Mindoro, Luzon, and then Iwo Jima. Simultaneously, land and carrier-based planes lashed Japanese shipping and industrial targets. So you can see they're talking about some Morotai, then Palua, then the Philippines and with Leyte, and then they jumped again to Luzon, and they jumped again, more over here though, from Guam, all the way to Iwo Jima. You can see how close that really is to Tokyo. And I love these kind of these drawings. There's been a lot of these in many of these books. They show a more picturized version of things. But you can see what they're talking about here. Shipping, aircraft carriers, things like that. B-29s had hit Tokyo. If you didn't see that, look at the last video. They talked about that a little bit. And then we can see some of the places. Obviously today, this is not called Formosa, but it was then. And there's unified Korea. All of this is under Japanese control right now, and obviously the Americans are slowly chipping away at it. You can see the Philippines is more or less taken, and Japanese are losing their empire. Hitting the beach at Iwo Jima. February 19th, 1945. The First Wave. Battle-tested Marines of the 4th Division assault the fire-raked beaches of Iwo above and burrow into the sand below before pushing inland. This division included veterans of every Marine landing since Guadalcanal. The fighting was as bloody as any in the war. It was many days before the Leathernecks were able to rout the fanatical Japanese from their final stepping stone to Tokyo. Yeah, you can see. So a lot of these photos would be recreations. It's to give you an idea, obviously, because they're trying to get these pictures in live action. You know, it's going to be really hard. So they're going to recreate some of this. Even the famous, photo that we have from Iwo Jima is a recreation. Now, it did actually happen, but it's just a recreation. And we can see. But it's still nice to see this because we have an idea of, obviously, what the troops were doing. Now, like they said, Iwo and Jima were very bloody battles. Well, not bloody battles. Bloody takings. The Japanese held on to this hard. These are important islands to them. So they fought for every inch of land. Yanks stick to their guns. February 19th, 1945. Killed in action. The invasion of Iwo Jima was a bloody one, and crews of landing crafts were killed as well as assault troops. Here, Americans die as their gun posts as enemy fire crashes aboard this LCI. Another ship puts alongside to assist the injured. Meanwhile, other assault boats were heading for the shores of Iwo. And you can see this guy, they're getting pretty injured, but they're sticking to their posts. Yeah, they're just injured. The day after D-Day at Iwo Jima. February 20th, 1945. Invasion wreckage. Attesting to the bitter struggle of the Marines to get a foothold on Iwo's beaches is this bleak shoreline, littered with wreckage wrought by the fierce fire of the enemy. Landing craft were badly battered by the Leatherneck, but the Leathernecks got to shore. Fighting troops may be seen on the beaches, and in the distance, smoke rises from the war gear still ablaze. Yeah, the getting up to here was very difficult, so there was going to be lots of leftover destruction. Like we've been saying, the Japanese held hard, and yes, there was a lot of concentrated fire on the beaches and bombings and things like that, but the Japanese held up in caves, tunnels that they had dug. And it really shows that sometimes all the power from above, if you can get down below, you ain't going to really have to worry about it very much. And the Japanese, they hold decently well, but obviously they can't hold forever. Mount Suribachi, Gibraltar of the Japs. February 1945. We took it. Mount Suribachi, at the southern tip of Iwo Jima Island, is a rocky, extinct volcano. In its caves and crannies, the Japanese were hidden and heavily armed. The rugged Gibraltar was captured. However, on D-Day, +4, a 4-man patrol of F Company, 28th Marine, ascended the volcano on February 23rd, followed by a platoon. But there was bitter fighting in the early days, and the rock was first softened by naval and airborne bombardment. In this picture, Navy and Coast Guard LSTs swarm around the base of Mount Suribachi as a naval rifle. I lost my place. In the foreground, directs its fire at the rugged crater of the formidable rock. Clouds of smoke rise as the shells burst along about the base of the strong point. Yeah, you can see Mount Suribachi. Yeah, there's a lot of bitter fighting on Iwo Jima. Every inch of ground you can take, every nook, every cranny, The Japanese have it fortified, and they're holding it hard, and they're holding it fast. But the Allies are taking it just as quickly. American Marines fought admirably and hard, and I'm sure even the Japanese would have found it honorable. But still, like I've said in multiple of these videos, it's sad that it came to this. And that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I could improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.